The story begins with Jennifer swimming in the sea, eventually reaching the shore of a remote island. As she walks along the shoreline, her mind drifts back to a time when she, her husband Jack, and their friends were traveling together toward a ship. At the ship, the captain, Gary, greets them warmly, setting the stage for what will become a dark and twisted journey. Among the crew, we are introduced to Manuel, a handsome and quiet man who catches Jennifer's attention, as well as her friend. Jennifer and her friend, noticing Manuel's rugged charm, Manuel, overhearing their conversation, is intrigued, but his interest is short-lived as his girlfriend Maria arrives and catches him looking at the two women. This sparks an intense argument between Manuel and Maria, escalating into a physical fight in front of everyone. Before leaving, Maria gives Manuel a cold warning, stating that she will not let him go so easily. Later that night, the group gathers for dinner. Jack, not one to shy away from teasing, brings up the fight between Manuel and Maria. He mocks the situation, which Manuel finds insulting. In response, Manuel storms off, leaving the group in an awkward silence. Meanwhile, we see Maria in a dark and secluded part of the ship, heavily intoxicated. She performs a mysterious ritual to take revenge on Manuel. Holding a doll with Manuel's name, she dances around it while clutching a picture of him to her chest. Her actions are disturbing, and her desire for revenge is palpable. As Maria continues her ritual, we see a strange connection begin to form between the spiritual and physical realms. While Maria harms the doll, Manuel suddenly experiences a nosebleed, suggesting that the ritual is having an immediate effect on him. The next morning, Manuel offers drinks to Jennifer and her friend. In a fit of rage, Manuel decides to quit his job, but not before an unfortunate incident occurs. He picks up his water goggles, but in his anger, he throws a handkerchief that lands on a gas burner. The handkerchief catches fire, quickly spreading to the ship. Chaos ensues as the fire ravages the ship, with Gary and the others scrambling to escape. As the fire continues to spread uncontrollably, Captain Gary takes charge, evacuating everyone onto a lifeboat. The explosion that follows completely destroys the ship, leaving the survivors stranded in the open sea. The boat capsizes, and the story transitions to the present. On the shore, Jennifer discovers a body in the water. Captain Gary, she rushes to pull him from the ocean, desperately trying to revive him, but he is already dead. Manuel arrives shortly after and confirms Gary's death, explaining that no one else survived the ship's destruction. This news devastates Jennifer, leaving her heartbroken and filled with loss. At night, as the rain begins to pour, Manuel builds a makeshift shelter. The next morning, Jennifer approaches him and asks when they will leave the island, but Manuel has no answers. With no clear way out, they begin to build a more permanent shelter to shield themselves from the constant rain. As time passes, Jennifer and Manuel begin to bond. While swimming in the sea, Jennifer asks him about his girlfriend Maria. However, Manuel refuses to speak about her, clearly upset by the subject. Jennifer, feeling rejected, becomes angry, but that night, Manuel approaches her to apologize for his silence. The following day, Jennifer forgives him, and they continue their efforts to survive on the island. While fishing, Manuel discovers Jack unconscious and weak. He brings Jack back to Jennifer, who is overjoyed to see him alive. As Jennifer comforts Jack, Manuel watches their emotional reunion from a distance, feeling a growing sense of discomfort. The closeness between Jennifer and Jack begins to stir jealousy in Manuel, but he doesn't voice his feelings. The next morning, Jack notices Jennifer and Manuel fishing together and having fun, which bothers him. During dinner, Jack insults Manuel and orders him to stay away from Jennifer, which leads to a violent confrontation between the two men. Jennifer, now furious with Jack, tells him she will no longer feed him, and Jack storms off in anger. The next day, Jack steals Manuel's goggles to go fishing, and Manuel catches him in the act. The confrontation escalates, and in a moment of intense rage, Manuel forces himself on Jennifer. At first, Jennifer resists, but she eventually gives in, and the two of them begin a physical relationship. When Jack returns, he immediately notices Jennifer's changed behavior and confronts her. Jennifer, devastated by what has happened, tries to explain, but Jack's growing suspicion and jealousy create an irreparable rift between them. Jennifer becomes torn between the anger she feels toward Jack and the sorrow she feels for Manuel, who was the one who helped her survive on the island. As the story progresses, Manuel dies under mysterious circumstances, leaving Jennifer heartbroken. She confronts Jack, but he shows no remorse for his actions. Instead, he continues to emotionally torture her, wanting to break her spirit completely. Jennifer manages to escape from Jack's control and tries to survive alone, but Jack relentlessly hunts her down, determined to exact revenge for what he believes was her betrayal. In a final desperate struggle, Jennifer overpowers Jack, finding the strength to fight back despite the emotional and physical scar she's endured. In her final act of vengeance, Jennifer takes Jack's lighter, knowing it is the key to his survival. She escapes with the help of a family on a passing boat, and as she watches Jack from a distance, she realizes that without his lighter, Jack will no longer be able to make fire.